Your mind is talking to you right now. It never stops. From the moment you wake up until you fall asleep, and even in your dreams, your mind is creating thoughts, making judgments, telling stories, and painting pictures of your reality. The question is not whether your mind is active. It always is. The question is whether you are taking care of it or letting it run wild like an untrained dog. Most people live their entire lives as prisoners of their own thoughts. They wake up each morning and immediately surrender control to whatever thoughts happen to show up. They let their minds drag them through worry about the future, regret about the past, criticism of themselves and others, and endless mental chatter that serves no useful purpose. They go through their days reacting to their thoughts instead of choosing them. But you have a choice. You always have a choice. Your mind is like a garden, and you are the gardener. You can choose what to plant, what to water, what to weed out, and what to harvest. When you take care of your mind every day, you take control of your life in the most fundamental way possible. Think about how you care for your body. You brush your teeth, you shower, you eat food, you exercise. You do these things because you understand that your body needs daily care to function well and stay healthy. Your mind needs the same kind of daily attention. Yet most people spend more time thinking about what to wear than they do about what thoughts to think. Your thoughts create your reality. This is not just a nice saying or a positive thinking mumbo-jumbo. This is a fundamental truth about how life works. Everything that exists in the physical world was first a thought in someone's mind. The chair you're sitting on, the building you're in, the technology you use, all of it started as an idea, a thought. Your life is no different. Your thoughts today are creating your tomorrow. When you think thoughts of lack, you create experiences of scarcity. When you think thoughts of fear, you attract situations that frighten you. When you think thoughts of anger and resentment, you draw conflict and hostility into your life. But when you think thoughts of love, abundance, peace, and joy, you create a life filled with those qualities. This is not magic. This is how the universe works. Like attracts like. What you focus on expands. The problem is that most people have never been taught how to manage their minds. Nobody ever sat you down and explained how to choose your thoughts, how to change negative patterns, or how to create the mental habits that lead to success and happiness. You were taught to read and write, to add and subtract, to follow rules and please others, but nobody taught you the most important skill of all, how to be the master of your own mind. So you've been living with mental habits that you picked up by accident. Maybe you learned to worry from a parent who worried constantly. Maybe you learned to criticize yourself from teachers who focused on what you did wrong instead of what you did right. Maybe you learned to expect the worst because that's what the people around you always did. These mental patterns became automatic, running in the background of your consciousness like software programs you never chose to install. But here's the beautiful truth. You can change these programs. You can rewrite the software of your mind. You can choose new thoughts, create new patterns, and develop new habits that serve you instead of sabotage you. It starts with awareness and continues with daily practice. Taking care of your mind begins with paying attention to what's going on in there. Most people are so busy living their lives that they never stop to observe their thoughts. They're like someone driving a car while completely ignoring what's on the road ahead. They just react to whatever happens without ever seeing it coming. Start noticing your thoughts. Don't judge them. Don't try to change them yet. Just notice them. Become aware of the constant stream of mental activity. Watch how your mind jumps from topic to topic, how it creates stories about what might happen, how it judges and evaluates everything you encounter. This is like learning to see the water when you've been swimming in it your whole life without realizing it was there. As you begin to observe your thoughts, you'll start to see patterns. You'll notice that certain types of thoughts come up again and again. Maybe you have a pattern of negative self-talk that runs constantly in the background. Maybe you have a habit of worrying about things that might go wrong. Maybe you find yourself replaying old hurts and disappointments over and over like a broken record. These patterns didn't develop overnight. And they won't disappear overnight either. But they can be changed with patience and persistent effort. Every thought pattern is just a habit. And habits can be replaced with new ones. The key is to catch these patterns when they start and consciously choose something different. When you notice a negative thought arising, don't fight it. Fighting your thoughts just gives them more energy. Instead, acknowledge the thought and then redirect your attention to something more useful. It's like changing the channel on a television. You don't have to watch a program you don't like. You can simply switch to something better. This is where daily mental care becomes essential. Just as you wouldn't expect to get physically fit by exercising once a month, you can't expect to develop mental strength and clarity without regular practice. Every day you need to tend to your mind, like a careful gardener tends to a prize-winning garden. Start your day by setting your mental intention. Before you get caught up in the demands and distractions of daily life, take a few minutes to decide how you want to think and feel. What kind of thoughts do you want to cultivate today? What mental attitude will serve you best? How do you want to respond to challenges that might arise? This is not about forcing positive thoughts or pretending everything is wonderful when it's not. This is about consciously choosing thoughts that empower you rather than weaken you. It's about focusing on what you can control rather than what you can't. It's about looking for solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Throughout the day, check in with your mind regularly. How are you thinking? What stories are you telling yourself? Are your thoughts helping you or hurting you? Are you focusing on what you want or what you don't want? Are you living in this moment or lost in regrets about the past or worries about the future? When you catch your mind wandering into negative territory, gently bring it back to something more constructive. This is like training a puppy. The puppy will wander off, and you'll need to call it back over and over again. Eventually, it learns to stay close to you. Your mind will learn the same way, with patient, consistent guidance. One of the most important aspects of mental care is learning to question your thoughts. Most people believe every thought that pops into their head as if it were absolute truth. But thoughts are just mental events. They're not facts, they're not commands, they're not permanent fixtures. They're just temporary visitors in your consciousness, and you get to decide which ones to invite in for tea and which ones to politely ask to leave. When a disturbing thought arises, ask yourself, is this thought true? Can I absolutely know that it's true? How do I feel when I believe this thought? Who would I be without this thought? These simple questions can free you from thoughts that have been holding you prisoner for years. Many of the thoughts that cause us the most suffering are not even true. They're assumptions, interpretations, predictions, and judgments that we've mistaken for reality. When someone doesn't return your phone call, your mind might create the story that they're angry with you, that you've done something wrong, that they don't like you anymore. But the only fact is that they didn't return your call. Everything else is a story your mind made up. And since you're making up the story anyway, why not make up one that feels better? Taking care of your mind also means feeding it the right kind of input. Your mind is constantly absorbing information from your environment, and all of this information influences your thoughts and emotions. If you spend your days consuming negative news, violent entertainment, gossip, and complaints, your mind will naturally generate more negative thoughts. If you surround yourself with inspiring books, uplifting music, positive people, and beautiful environments, your mind will naturally move in a more positive direction. You have more control over your mental diet than you might think. You can choose what to read, what to watch, what to listen to, and who to spend time with. You can choose to limit your exposure to negativity and increase your exposure to positivity. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or living in denial. It means being selective about what you allow into your consciousness and choosing influences that support your well-being rather than undermine it. The people you spend time with have an enormous impact on your mental state. Thoughts and emotions are contagious. When you're around positive, optimistic, loving people, you naturally feel more positive, optimistic, and loving. When you're around negative, pessimistic, critical people, you absorb those qualities as well. Choose your companions wisely. Seek out people who inspire you, support you, and bring out the best in you. Limit your time with people who drain your energy, criticize your dreams, and pull you down. The physical care of your body also affects your mental state. When you're tired, hungry, or physically uncomfortable, it's much harder to maintain positive thoughts and emotions. When you get enough sleep, eat nourishing food, exercise regularly, and take care of your physical needs, your mind naturally works better. Your thoughts are clearer. Your emotions are more stable, and your ability to handle stress improves dramatically. The practice of meditation is one of the most powerful tools for taking care of your mind. Meditation is simply the practice of training your attention. Just as you might go to a gym to train your body, meditation is like going to a gym for your mind. It strengthens your ability to focus, increases your awareness of your thoughts and emotions, and gives you greater control over your mental state. You don't need to sit in lotus position or chant mysterious words to meditate. You can start with just 5 minutes a day of quiet sitting, focusing on your breath, or simply observing your thoughts without getting caught up in them. The goal is not to stop thinking, that's impossible, but to develop a different relationship with your thoughts. Instead of being carried away by every mental wave, you learn to be like a surfer who can ride the waves without being wiped out by them. Prayer, regardless of your religious beliefs, is another powerful practice for mental care. Prayer is simply talking to the highest part of yourself or to whatever you consider to be the source of all good in the universe. It's a way of aligning your thoughts with love, gratitude, and positive intention. Whether you pray to God, the universe, your higher self, or simply to the goodness that exists in life, the act of prayer shifts your mental state from fear to love, from scarcity to abundance, from separation to connection. Gratitude is perhaps the most transformative mental practice of all. When you focus on what you're grateful for, it's impossible to feel sorry for yourself, to dwell on what's wrong, or to worry about what you don't have. Gratitude shifts your attention from lack to abundance, from problems to blessings, from what's missing to what's present. Make gratitude a daily practice. Every morning, think of 3 things you're grateful for. Every evening, reflect on the good things that happened during the day. Throughout the day, whenever you notice something beautiful, helpful, or pleasant, pause for a moment to appreciate it. This simple practice will gradually transform your mental landscape from one of complaint and dissatisfaction to one of appreciation and joy. Forgiveness is another essential aspect of mental care. Holding on to resentment, anger, and hurt is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. These negative emotions don't hurt the people who wronged you, they hurt you. They occupy space in your mind that could be used for love, creativity, and joy. They drain your energy and keep you stuck in the past. Forgiveness doesn't mean approving of what someone did or allowing them to hurt you again. It means freeing yourself from the burden of carrying their actions in your mind and heart. It means choosing peace over the need to be right. It means releasing the past so you can be fully present for the future. Forgiving others is important, but forgiving yourself is equally crucial. Most people are far more critical of themselves than they would ever be of a good friend. They replay their mistakes endlessly, punish themselves for past failures, and maintain impossibly high standards that set them up for disappointment. This self-criticism doesn't motivate improvement, it paralyzes progress. Treat yourself with the same kindness and compassion you would offer to someone you love. When you make a mistake, learn from it and move on. When you fall short of your own expectations, adjust your approach and try again. When you notice yourself being self-critical, ask what you would say to a dear friend in the same situation, and then say those words to yourself. Taking care of your mind also means setting healthy boundaries with your thoughts. Not every thought deserves your attention. Some thoughts are like telemarketers. They're persistent, annoying, and trying to sell you something you don't want. You don't have to listen to them. You can hang up. You can refuse to engage. When thoughts of worry arise, ask yourself, is this worry helping me solve a problem, or is it just making me feel bad? If it's helping you plan or prepare for something, then it's useful. If it's just creating anxiety about things you can't control, then it's mental junk that needs to be discarded. When thoughts of anger arise, ask yourself, is this anger motivating me to take positive action, or is it just making me miserable? If it's inspiring you to stand up for yourself or make necessary changes, then it has value. If it's just burning inside you without leading to anything constructive, then it's harming you more than anyone else. When thoughts of sadness arise, ask yourself, is this sadness helping me process a real loss, or is it just keeping me stuck in the past? Grief over genuine losses is natural and healthy, but dwelling on old disappointments, replaying past hurts, and mourning what might have been is like voluntarily living in a prison cell when the door is wide open. The practice of visualization is another powerful tool for mental care. Your mind doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you visualize yourself succeeding, your brain creates new neural pathways that make success more likely. When you visualize yourself handling challenges with grace and confidence, you're literally programming your mind to respond that way when those challenges arise. Spend time each day visualizing your life as you want it to be. See yourself accomplishing your goals, enjoying loving relationships, living in abundance, and expressing your highest potential. Make these mental movies as detailed and emotionally engaging as possible. Feel the feelings you would have if these things were already true. This isn't wishful thinking, it's mental rehearsal that prepares you to recognize and seize opportunities when they appear. Your words are also an important aspect of mental care because your words reinforce your thoughts. The way you talk to yourself and others shapes your reality. If you constantly say things like, I can't, I'm not good enough, nothing ever works out for me, or life is hard, you're programming your mind to look for evidence that supports these beliefs. Your mind will obligingly find that evidence because it always finds what it's looking for. Change your words and you'll change your thoughts. Instead of I can't, say, I'm learning how. Instead of I'm not good enough, say, I'm getting better every day. Instead of nothing ever works out, say, things are always working out for me in ways I don't always see immediately. Instead of life is hard, say, life is full of opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. This isn't about lying to yourself or pretending problems don't exist. It's about choosing language that empowers you rather than defeats you. Problems become challenges. Failures become learning experiences. Obstacles become opportunities to develop new skills. Setbacks become setups for comeback. Reading is food for the mind. What you read shapes how you think, and how you think determines how you feel and what you experience. Make reading inspiring, educational, and uplifting material a regular part of your mental care routine. Read books that challenge you to grow, that offer new perspectives, that inspire you to become your best self. Avoid reading material that fills your mind with negativity, fear, or limitation. This doesn't mean ignoring reality, but it means being selective about what you allow into your consciousness. Just as you wouldn't eat junk food for every meal because you know it would make your body sick, don't feed your mind a steady diet of negative information because it will make your spirit sick. Taking care of your mind requires consistency and patience. Like physical fitness, mental fitness develops gradually through regular practice. You wouldn't expect to become physically strong by exercising intensely for one day and then doing nothing for months. Mental strength develops the same way, through daily commitment to small positive actions. Some days will be easier than others. Some days your mind will cooperate beautifully and positive thoughts will flow naturally. Other days you'll feel like you're swimming upstream against a current of negativity and resistance. This is normal. Don't judge yourself on the difficult days. Just keep practicing. Every moment of awareness, every conscious choice to redirect a negative thought, every decision to focus on something positive is building your mental strength. The benefits of taking care of your mind extend far beyond your own personal experience. When you're in a positive mental state, you naturally spread that positivity to everyone around you. Your family feels more loved. Your friends feel more supported. Your coworkers feel more inspired, and even strangers you encounter feel uplifted by your presence. You become a force for good in the world simply by maintaining your own mental well-being. Your mind is your most precious possession. It's the source of your creativity, the seat of your wisdom, the birthplace of your dreams, and the command center of your life. When you take care of it every day with the same diligence you use to care for your body, you'll find that life becomes more joyful, more purposeful, and more fulfilling than you ever thought possible. The time to start is now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when your circumstances improve or when you have more time. Right now, in this moment, you can choose a thought that serves you. You can decide to see something good in your current situation. You can feel grateful for something in your life. You can forgive someone who hurt you. You can speak kindly to yourself. You can set an intention for how you want to feel and think today. Your mind has been waiting for you to take charge. It's been running on autopilot, repeating old patterns, following habitual routes, generating the same types of thoughts and emotions day after day. But it's ready to be directed by your conscious will. It's ready to serve your highest good instead of your deepest fears. It's ready to create beauty instead of chaos, love instead of conflict, abundance instead of lack. The power to transform your life lies in your ability to transform your thinking. Every great achievement, every moment of happiness, every experience of love and peace begins with a thought. When you take care of your mind every day, you're taking care of the source from which all good things flow. You are not a victim of your thoughts, you are their creator. You are not at the mercy of your emotions, you are their director. You are not powerless in the face of life's challenges. You are equipped with the most sophisticated problem-solving tool in the universe, your mind. Use it wisely. Care for it daily. Feed it well. Exercise it regularly. Rest it completely. Surround it with beauty. Fill it with gratitude. Direct it toward love. And watch as your life transforms in ways that will amaze and delight you. The garden of your mind is waiting for your attention. The seeds of greatness are already planted there. Water them with positive thoughts, weed out the negative patterns, and tend to them with daily care. Soon you will be harvesting a life of joy, peace, love, and unlimited possibility. Your mind is talking to you right now. What is it saying? More importantly, what are you going to say back? The conversation between you and your thoughts is the most important dialogue you'll ever have. Make it a loving one. Make it an empowering one. Make it one that creates the life you truly want to live. Take care of your mind every day, and it will take care of you in return. This is not just good advice. This is the secret to living a life of purpose, passion, and profound fulfillment. Your mind is ready. Your life is waiting. The time is now. Understanding the nature of your mind requires recognizing that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. You are the consciousness that experiences thoughts, but you are not the thoughts themselves. This distinction is revolutionary because it means you have the power to step back from any thought and choose whether to engage with it or let it pass by. Most people identify completely with their thoughts. When they think, I'm not smart enough, they believe they are not smart enough. When they think, I'm going to fail, they believe failure is inevitable. When they think, nobody loves me, they accept this as absolute truth. But these are just thoughts, temporary visitors in the hotel of your consciousness. You are the hotel owner, not the visitors. This awareness changes everything. When you realize you can observe your thoughts without being consumed by them, you gain tremendous freedom. A thought of fear can arise, and instead of becoming afraid, you can simply notice there's a fear thought. A thought of anger can appear, and instead of becoming angry, you can observe there's an anger thought. This creates space between you and your mental reactions, and in that space lies your power to choose. The quality of your mental environment determines the quality of your entire life experience. Just as a plant grows differently in rich soil versus poor soil, your potential flourishes or withers depending on the mental conditions you create. When your mind is filled with thoughts of possibility, love, and growth, you naturally move toward experiences that match those thoughts. When your mind is cluttered with thoughts of limitation, fear, and scarcity, you unconsciously create circumstances that reflect those mental patterns. Your subconscious mind is like a faithful servant that never questions your commands. Whatever you consistently think about and focus on, your subconscious accepts as instructions for what to create in your life. If you constantly worry about money, your subconscious interprets this as create more situations to worry about money. If you regularly think about illness, your subconscious hears manifest more reasons to think about illness. But if you focus on health, abundance, and joy, your subconscious works tirelessly to bring these experiences into your reality. This is why mental hygiene is so crucial. You wouldn't leave garbage scattered around your home because you know it would attract pests and create an unhealthy environment. Yet many people leave mental garbage, negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, and toxic emotions scattered throughout their consciousness without realizing the damage it causes. Cleaning up your mental environment starts with recognizing mental pollution when it appears. Worry is mental pollution. Resentment is mental pollution. Self-doubt is mental pollution. Comparison with others is mental pollution. These thoughts serve no constructive purpose and only contaminate your inner atmosphere. When you notice mental pollution, don't judge yourself for having these thoughts. Everyone has them. Instead, treat them like you would treat physical garbage. You wouldn't criticize yourself for finding trash in your yard. You would simply clean it up. Apply the same approach to negative thoughts. Acknowledge them, then dispose of them by redirecting your attention to something more positive and useful. The practice of mental decluttering should become as routine as brushing your teeth. Each morning, scan your mind for any lingering negativity from the previous day. Are you carrying any resentment? Are you worried about something you can't control? Are you criticizing yourself for past mistakes? Clear these thoughts away before they have a chance to influence your day. Throughout the day, maintain awareness of what you're thinking. When you catch yourself dwelling on problems, shift to thinking about solutions. When you notice yourself complaining mentally, find something to appreciate instead. When you realize you're judging someone else, look for their positive qualities. These small corrections compound over time to create massive changes in your mental landscape. Your thoughts have energy, and this energy affects not only you, but everyone around you. When you think loving thoughts, you generate loving energy that others can feel. When you think peaceful thoughts, you create an atmosphere of peace that calms everyone in your presence. When you think confident thoughts, your confidence inspires confidence in others. This is why taking care of your mind is not a selfish act. It's a gift to the world. Every positive thought you think contributes to the collective consciousness of humanity. Every moment you spend in gratitude, love, or joy adds to the total amount of positivity in the universe. You are literally making the world a better place by maintaining a healthy mental state. The stories you tell yourself about your life have tremendous power to shape your reality. These stories become the lens through which you interpret everything that happens to you. If your story is, "Bad things always happen to me," you'll notice and remember every negative event while overlooking positive ones. If your story is, "I'm incredibly lucky and blessed," you'll see evidence of your good fortune everywhere. Most people inherited their life stories from their families, friends, or society without ever consciously choosing them. They accepted stories like, "Life is a struggle, you have to work hard for everything, good things don't last," or "You can't trust people," as if these were universal truths rather than just one possible interpretation of life. But you can rewrite your story at any time. You can choose a narrative that empowers you rather than limits you. Instead of "I always make bad decisions," your new story can be, "I'm learning to make better choices every day." Instead of "I'm unlucky in love," your story can become, "I'm attracting more loving relationships into my life." Instead of "I never have enough money," you can adopt the story, "Money flows to me easily and abundantly." Changing your story isn't about denying past difficulties or pretending problems don't exist. It's about choosing an interpretation of your experiences that serves your growth and happiness. Every event in your life can be viewed through multiple lenses. You can see challenges as problems or as opportunities to develop strength. You can view mistakes as failures or as learning experiences. You can interpret setbacks as evidence that you're cursed or as setups for even greater comeback. The lens you choose determines not only how you feel about your past, but also what you expect from your future. And what you expect has a powerful influence on what actually occurs. When you expect good things, you notice opportunities that align with those expectations. When you expect problems, you unconsciously make choices that create the very problems you feared. Your mind is designed to seek evidence that supports whatever you believe. This is called confirmation bias, and it's one of the most powerful forces shaping your reality. If you believe you're capable and deserving of success, your mind will constantly search for and find evidence to support this belief. If you believe you're inadequate and unworthy, your mind will just as diligently collect evidence for that belief instead. This is why it's so important to consciously choose beliefs that serve you. Your beliefs act like filters that determine what information gets through to your conscious awareness. Empowering beliefs open you up to possibilities, opportunities, and positive experiences. Limiting beliefs blind you to the very things that could improve your life. Examining your beliefs requires honest self-reflection. What do you believe about yourself, about other people, about life in general? Where did these beliefs come from? Are they based on your own experiences or on what others told you? Are they helping you create the life you want or holding you back from your potential? Many of our most limiting beliefs were formed during childhood when we didn't have the wisdom to evaluate their accuracy. A child who is criticized constantly might develop the belief, "I'm not good enough." A child who experiences financial stress might adopt the belief, "There's never enough money." A child who witnesses conflict might conclude relationships are dangerous. These childhood beliefs often operate unconsciously in adult life, sabotaging efforts to create happiness and success. But beliefs are not facts. They are simply thoughts you've thought so many times that they feel true. And just as you learned these beliefs, you can unlearn them and replace them with beliefs that support your well-being. The process of belief change requires patience and persistence. You can't simply decide to believe something new and have it instantly replace decades of conditioning. But you can begin to question old beliefs and look for evidence that supports new, more empowering ones. If you want to develop the belief that you are capable of achieving your goals, start collecting evidence of your capabilities. Remember times when you overcame challenges, learned new skills, or accomplished things that once seemed impossible. Focus on your strengths and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. If you want to believe that life is fundamentally good and supportive, begin noticing all the ways life supports you each day. The air you breathe, the food that nourishes you, the people who care about you, the countless systems that work smoothly to make your life possible. This evidence has always been there, but your old beliefs may have prevented you from seeing it. Your mental habits run so automatically that you may not even realize you have them. You might have a habit of catastrophizing, immediately assuming the worst possible outcome in any uncertain situation. You might have a habit of people-pleasing, automatically putting others' needs before your own. You might have a habit of perfectionism, setting impossibly high standards that guarantee disappointment. These mental habits were learned, which means they can be unlearned. The first step is becoming aware of them. Start paying attention to your automatic mental responses. What do you immediately think when something goes wrong? How do you typically react to criticism? What assumptions do you make about new people you meet? Once you identify a mental habit you want to change, you can begin practicing a new response. This requires conscious effort at first, like learning any new skill. If you habitually worry about the future, practice redirecting your attention to the present moment. If you automatically criticize yourself for mistakes, practice responding with self-compassion instead. The key to changing mental habits is consistency rather than perfection. You don't need to catch every negative thought or respond perfectly every time. You just need to practice the new pattern often enough that it begins to feel natural. Over time, your new mental habit will become as automatic as the old one, but it will serve you much better. Creating mental rituals can help establish and maintain healthy thinking patterns. A mental ritual is a specific practice you do at the same time each day to cultivate positive mental states. This might be spending 5 minutes each morning setting positive intentions, taking a moment before meals to feel grateful, or ending each day by reflecting on what went well. These rituals create structure for your mental care, ensuring that positive practices happen consistently rather than just when you remember or feel like it. They also serve as anchors that remind you to be conscious of your mental state throughout the day. The compound effect applies to mental care just as it does to physical fitness or financial investing. Small, consistent actions accumulate over time to create dramatic results. One positive thought might not seem significant, but thousands of positive thoughts over months and years completely transform your mental landscape and your life experience. Every thought you think is either making deposits into your mental bank account or withdrawals from it. Thoughts of gratitude, love, hope, and possibility are deposits that increase your mental wealth. Thoughts of worry, criticism, resentment, and fear are withdrawals that deplete your inner resources. Pay attention to whether you're making more deposits or withdrawals each day. If you find that you're constantly withdrawing mental energy through negative thinking, it's time to consciously increase your deposits through more positive mental practices.